So I'm going to make this video in English as well as in Cantonese. My Cantonese is probably one video before this. So if you would like to listen to this in Cantonese, please go back one video. I'm going to talk about the one article in the Vancouver Sun. Now, I'm not from Vancouver. I don't live in Vancouver. But this article caught my eyes. It's published in November 28th this year, a few days ago, by a Canadian reporter by the name of Douglas Todd. Title: Generous Canada Now #1 Country for Foreign Students. So in the article, he described how Canada is now so generous in attracting international students to Canada to study, and the negative implication, and how the government, Ottawa, their policy is not a good policy according to him. Analysis. Some higher education specialists are skeptical about Ottawa's increasing eye-catching efforts to lure international students. So this is how he started the article. Canada is now #1, and Ottawa's policy is to attract international students to Canada. And some higher education specialists are skeptical about this policy. That's the theme. The strangest thing is, Todd is quite, a famous Canadian reporter. But if I were to write an article like that in my university newspaper, I'll probably fail. I read over the whole article. No names. Who are those specialists? Never named them. Who are they? Don't know. And maybe that's how Vancouver Sun policy on no names. So, okay. It says Canada has become the most popular country in the world for international students, said a survey conducted in more than 50 countries. This is probably right, and I did find some numbers to back it up. Per capita-wise, Canada has more international students than the US, UK, and Australia. It is very true. We are the first choice of higher education. So, the majority of students choose Canada as their top option because they are allowed to work while they are studying in Canada. And it is true. As far as I know, international students are allowed to work 20 hours per week maximum when they hold a student permit. And also, Todd said the tuition fee here is very affordable, very cheap, because Canada is such generous. Relative affordability of tuition fees, given most of the country's universities and colleges are subsidized by taxpayers. True, Canadian universities and colleges are subsidized by taxpayers. But Todd never said the international students pay more than double, many times, sometimes more than local students in tuition fee. He never explained that, there are two fee-paying systems for local students and international students, which the international students pay a lot more. According to Todd, there are 6 million potential international students in the world. Canada is offering such eye-catching effort to attract international students to come to Canada. Now, this is the part he's using strange, I don't think it is good terms in describing the situation. Higher education experts question why Canada appears to be the only nation that has given foreign students social assistance payment during COVID. Now, okay, a couple of problems in his statement. Higher education expert, again, names, who are they? Okay, why Canada appears the only nation that has given foreign students social assistance payment during COVID. Social assistance payment, is he calling welfare? As far as I know, international students, they don't receive welfare. And he's deliberately trying to mislead the readers. They also ask about Canada's decision to allow students extensive opportunities to work. Interesting, these unnamed experts ask why Canada allows students extensive opportunities to work. He never named what are the extended opportunities. As far as I know, if they need to work, they just work like anybody else. What are those extensive opportunities? And yes, he talked about now Canada has about 600,000 international students a year, which is a little bit overstated. It's not 600,000 yet. He says, during the pandemic, many offshore students study remotely, but most are physically back on Canadian campuses. Well, if you do want to go to study, I find it easier to study on campus rather than across time zones, somewhere around the world, looking at a screen. What is so wrong about that? Okay. Now, there are some other statements. Foreign students made up of 20% of post-secondary students in Canada. So, yes, it's the highest ratio in the world. So he compared with us, Canada, with Australia and Britain. We are higher. We're 20% of, compared with 7% in other countries and 6% in EU. Probably true. I'm not going to question those numbers. It's true, probably. But don't forget, if you go to Germany, EU country, or Austria, or the university are mostly in German, study in German. Are there that many German international students or students from China or India that they are fluent enough in German so that they can go to the EU or French or something else? Now, I do know a lot of African countries used to be French colonies that they go to France and to study. It said Canada gone the opposite direction of other countries during COVID and allows studying visa holders to apply for taxpayer-funded programs such as Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. It is true, but again, he's using some terms that they are misleading. Yes, during COVID, for those the income being affected, they can apply for the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. And yes, they are taxpayer funded. True. But don't forget, those international students, when they work, which taught opposed, but they do work, when they work and make money, they are also tax taxpayers? Can you segregate taxpayer being local, taxpayer being students? And if you are an international student, even though you pay the same tax, but you are not eligible for the benefit as other taxpayers. Yes, they are taxpayer funded. Can you say this group of taxpayer, I'm going to give you benefit. The other group of taxpayer, you pay the same tax. I force you to pay the same tax, but you're not eligible to receive the benefit which you pay for. So that interesting that how, as a journalist, it seems to me that he's misleading the readers using terms that are in trying to incite a division between foreigners and locals. If you are local, I love you. If you're a foreigner, I don't care what you do, you're not welcome. Of course, his own university, UBC, he said UBC has almost 17,000 international students this fall. So 1/3 of all graduates and undergraduates students. So it made up of about 1/3 of, their students, okay. More than 1/3 of those international students are from China and 1/5 from India. The others are from US, Korea, and Iran. Yes, it is true. If you go to UBC, lots of international students, lots of Chinese and Indian students. It is true. And Simon Fraser, also in BC, 7,000 foreign students. And of course, he complained that, compared to Alberta, BC has a lot more, many times, international students than universities in Alberta. It probably true. However, not to, I love Alberta, but sometimes there's so many international students who would love to stay in the cold Edmonton. Well, I love the Rockies, good view, but weather-wise, Vancouver is a much temperate climate. It is true. Liberal government boasting foreign students bring more than 21 billion a year into the economy. Yep, international students brings a lot of money into the economy, which is very true. They are a source of revenue, and that's up 15% from year 2000. When COVID first hit in 2020, Australia and the US, they literally sent international students back home. Don't send them back to their homeland. Okay. Unlike Canada, let them stay around. Take a look at, in the US and Australia, because they forced their international students to go back to their homeland. Some of their university, 10% of their university staff were laid off during that time. So you shoot yourself in the foot if you force the international students to go back or to cut down on the numbers, because you are increasing your unemployment in your own education sector. He also is the only name that he named, one professor in University of Sydney, okay, Australian. He said, I'm surprised Canada has extended welfare benefit to international students. It is a strange decision, since most of such students must demonstrate the abilities to support themselves financially before being granted a study visa. Yes, all international students has to demonstrate they have the financial ability to to stay in Canada. But if they do work, if they do pay tax, why can't they get the same benefit? And Canada gives them the same benefit. And this professor used the term, Canada has extended welfare benefits to international students. The benefit is not welfare, it's not a welfare check. It is a benefit because the employment was affected because of COVID is for every single person, taxpayer. So it is not extending to just international students. Again, he used really misleading statements. I do not understand. Such a reporter in Vancouver can write an article without citing he term expert, putting out statements like this. Please comment.